How's it going, guys? Football-ManagerYouthDevelopment.co.uk here. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at making some tactics for Arsenal, and we're also going to be taking a look at some of the better players that Arsenal have got. If this is the first time you've watched a video on the channel, we mainly take a look at making tactics. We have a little bit of gameplay on the channel as well. At the moment, I am doing a long-term save playing as a lower league team in Italy, and I also have a Chelsea team that I'm also managing on YouTube as a gameplay series as well. So if you've not done so yet, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel, and of course press the like button on any video if it takes your fancy, as that really does help the channel. So to start this episode off, I do like to always take a look at 3 key players for every team that I'm going to be building tactics for. So of course a very good place to start is going to be with Alexis Sanchez, who on this particular version of Football Manager is valued at £50 million. I've just actually been taking a look, and I just noticed his contract's actually running out in a couple of seasons. So if you are managing Arsenal, it's going to be a pretty decent idea to make sure you do tie Alexis Sanchez down to a new contract as soon as possible. Of course, he's got some absolutely fantastic attributes and really good player traits as well. So his key attributes are going to be his flair, dribbling skills, technique, work rate, acceleration, could keep going on here, bravery, things like this. But yeah, he's absolutely fantastic player. I do like the fact that he likes to run with the ball often, and that he likes to cut inside from the left wing. You can see that his preferred duty and role is as an inside forward, and certainly with his finishing of 16, he's really good off the ball of 17, and the fact that he does like to cut in from the left hand wing is going to be really important to make sure that you're making use of that if you are managing Arsenal. So the next obvious player to take a look at would have probably been Mesut Ozil, but for this particular sort of video, I'm not going to be taking a look at Ozil, as I'm sure you already know what his key attributes are. I decided to have a look at Mustafi, as I do think he's going to be a very good player for you, for Arsenal. He's actually doing pretty well in real life, from what I've heard. Obviously I don't support Arsenal, so I don't watch him every week, but yeah, I've heard he's actually doing pretty decent in real life as well. He's got a resolute personality. He's only 24 years old, so I think for Arsenal that's going to be a very good sort of thing. Basically, he's going to be at Arsenal for a long time. His media description is a strong centre-back, and he's got acceleration and pace of 14 and 15, which is very good as well. Tackling, marking and heading of 16, good work rate, good teamwork, good positioning. I personally think this guy's got it all, to be honest, and I do reckon that he's going to be an absolutely massive player for you if you do decide to play as Arsenal on Football Manager 2017. The last player that I just wanted to take a quick look at as some key players in the Arsenal team is Coquelin. So I do think this guy is going to be another key player. Just having a look at some of his mental attributes, in particular having a look at his aggression at 15, bravery 18, work rate 17, positioning 15, teamwork 18. He's got very good physical attributes as well. And in terms of the player that's just going to sort of break up play, get stuck into a tackle, got a little bit of an eye for a pass as well, I do think this kid's going to be, very good. He's 25, so, he's certainly pretty good age, and although at the moment his current ability is only 3-star, you do need to remember that Arsenal have got some real quality players. So although he's only actually rated as 3-star, in terms of actually how good this guy is, he's actually a hell of a lot better than the 3-star here. So obviously he's going to be competing against the likes of Sanchez and Ozil. Obviously he's not quite up to that standard, but in terms of a tactic that you're going to be making for Arsenal, this guy is going to be absolutely vital to any tactic that you do make. Before I go on to making the tactic, I just wanted to take a look at 3 youth players that Arsenal have got in their ranks. And this kid, for me, is one of their real standout players. He's a 16-year-old English kid by the name of Reece Nelson. He's got acceleration of 14, flair 15, dribbling 13, techniques 13, work rates pretty good for a 16-year-old, off the ball 12. I do think this guy, he's probably going to be a little bit of the mould of like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Certainly he's not going to be as strong as Oxlade-Chamberlain, but in terms of a player that you probably are not going to be able to rely on too much defensively, if you do give him the ball and let him kind of run with it, just a kind of flair player, I do think that he's going to certainly be very good at doing that type of thing. I do think as well, it's going to be probably a good idea to maybe get him tutored. His personality is only balanced at the moment, and his determination is 14. His determination is good, but it's his personality that I would certainly look to develop if you're able to. The next youth player that I just wanted to take a quick look at is René Adelaide. He's a French inside forward who is 18 years old. He's worth 2.2 million at the moment, and I do think this kid, you could probably bring him into the Arsenal first team probably within your first season, I reckon. Especially bringing him on as a sub, I do think he would have quite a good impact, especially because he's got very good acceleration, flair, fairly good at dribbling as well. So, you know, if you've got like 15-20 minutes, you just want to wind the clock down, I do think that this kid's going to be pretty decent to bring on. He's got 4.5 star attributes, potential ability, so he's certainly going to be a player to keep an eye on. And I do think that if you did tutor this guy, again, he's got a balanced personality, so I do reckon if you tutored him, you would certainly have a very, very good player in your hands within about probably 2 or 3 seasons. The last youth player that I wanted to take a look at is Benacer. He looks like a very good French midfielder. He's only 18 years old, and yeah, he looks pretty much of a sort of Coquelin type player as well. He's got very good work rate, pretty decent tackling, good aggression, good bravery, fairly physical player as well, considering that he's only 5'8". So, you know, he's not exactly blessed with like height, and, you know, he's not got too much weight behind him either, but certainly as a, you know, sort of physical player, he's not too bad with his stamina and pace and things like that. So I do reckon this player you could probably develop into a pretty decent player. I think what I would probably do, again, this player I would probably maybe loan him out if you could, just to get him that first team experience. His birthday is actually on the 1st of December, so you've only actually got about 6 months before he's going to turn 19. So I do reckon it's going to be a very good idea to make sure that you tutor this guy. And yeah, sort of get him out on loan as quickly as possible, just to see if you can develop him. And potentially when he does come back after maybe having 1 season on loan, I do reckon that you'll have a pretty decent player on your hands. But yeah, certainly giving this guy some sort of much needed first team experience is going to help him along as much as possible. Okay, so I'm just taking a look at making this tactic for Arsenal at the moment. My initial thought was basically to take a look at obviously some of their better players. I did want to put Olivier Giroud up front, simply because he's going to be best as a target man, and he's got head in of 18, off the ball 16, you know, jumping reach 17, strength 17, and it's obvious that his kind of key attributes are going to be to win the ball in the air and things like this. However, having a look at the attributes of some of the crossing attributes that Arsenal have got in their team, they don't really have anyone that's absolutely fantastic at crossing the ball, to be honest. They've got Mesut Ozil. I don't particularly want to play him out wide. Carl Jenkinson's actually injured at the moment. They've got a guy called Lucas. Again, he's not a winger or anything of that nature. He's more of a sort of striker. And they've got Alexis Sanchez on the left-hand side, but his crossing ability is only 13. So I'm going to have a little bit of a play around here just to see what I do think of make him, just to see what I do think is going to be the best tactic to make for Arsenal here. Potentially, this tactic might not have Olivier Giroud in it. And yeah, I know in real life, Giroud is not actually getting into the Arsenal team all that much in real life. And potentially that might be the reason why Arsene Wenger is actually leaving him out. But I'll just make the tactic and just see what I can do. Okay then, so I think I've come up with a tactic for Arsenal that I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to probably play just one quick game just to see how it looks on the match engine. But yeah, basically the idea is to have a flat back 4 with Monreal, Bellerin, Mustafi and Koscielny at the back. Coquelin is going to be just in front of them in a defensive midfielder position. I really wasn't too sure what to do with Coquelin. His best kind of role is as a ball winner midfielder, but the only thing I don't like about the ball winner midfielder, as it says here, is that their main function is to close down the opposition and to win the ball. What can basically sometimes happen if he goes darting off Coquelin to try and win the ball back, and you're playing against a pretty decent team, obviously he's going to be out of position fairly quickly. So I do actually prefer the defensive midfielder kind of role, just simply because he's more likely to, he's going to be protecting the defensive line. He's not going to be sort of going too nuts basically into the tackle, and what he'll be doing is just kind of holding his position until he's actually in a decent position to make a tackle rather than sort of going like a bull in a china shop, basically. In front of him, I've got Xhaka and Ramsey, and then up top, I've got Mesut Ozil, Sanchez, and Cazorla. The idea with Xhaka being in the deep line playmaker role, obviously it is his best sort of role to be on, but when you actually read the description of it, is certainly going to be his best thing to do. So I want him on the defend duty just simply because I want him to fulfill his extra defensive responsibilities. And basically the point of this guy is that he's going to be playing sort of pinpoint passes. If we take a look at his attributes, you can see here that he will put his foot into a tackle because he's got tackling of 13. He's got good bravery at 15, but his key attributes are his passing and his technique and vision, which are 18, 16, and 16. So the good thing is that he is going to be obviously, sort of dictating exactly what happens with the ball. I do want him to have a little bit of license when he does get the ball, just so that he can play through sort of killer balls. But I do want him to help out in the defence as well. And I do reckon that he's certainly got the sort of attributes to be able to do that. Taking a look at Aaron Ramsey, again, he's another player that will put his foot into a tackle. His media description is a tireless midfielder. What I liked about Aaron Ramsey, that he's got finishing of 13, composure of 16, and it says here that his player traits, he likes to arrive late in the opposition area. One thing that for me is going to be pretty key for Ramsey is that when we are attacking, that he's going to be more than comfortable sort of pushing forward, probably behind Sanchez, I would have thought, and that he's going to be willing to support these three players in, when we're attacking, basically. But he will also have in the back of his mind that he does need to be defending, which is why I put him on the support function, so that he will get forward if the opportunity arises. But yeah, he still will need to help out in defence, when we need to defend, basically. The top three guys kind of almost pick their self to a certain extent. Like I said, I was sort of having a look at Giroud, but I don't think having a target man or someone of that nature in this Arsenal team is going to lend itself very well. So what I've decided to do is go for Sanchez as a shadow striker. Now, that might not necessarily be his best role, but when you actually have a read of the shadow striker, it basically says that he's going to be the main goal scoring threat for the team, that he's going to be pushing forward, and he's also going to be closing down the opposition defenders when we're out of possession. So again, if you have a look at his attributes, his tackling's not great, but he's got aggression of 16, bravery 19, and work rate of 19. So for me, he's just going to be absolutely hounding all of the defenders that he's going to be playing against, and he's certainly going to be a fantastic player to have in that shadow striker sort of role. Obviously, his finishing is 16, composure of 14, off the ball 17. So again, in terms of his sort of more attacking play and his defensive play, he's going to be doing a hell of a lot for this team. So yeah, I do think that that's going to be a really good role for him. Mesut Ozil is, of course, a really sort of creative player, so I've decided to put him in the advanced playmaker role on the attack duty. Now, just before I have a look at that role in more particular detail, just have a look at Mesut Ozil's sort of more attacking, or more kind of flair attributes. So he's got dribbling of 17, flair of 19, acceleration of 14. So yeah, he's really, really good at just running with the ball, basically. And you can see here that he likes to come deep to get the ball, and he also likes to play his 1-2s as well. So I can see that working out really well with Sanchez. If we take a look at the attack role of the advanced playmaker, you can basically see that he will like to look at the opposition. Sorry, he likes to run at the opposition defence. And what he's going to be doing once he is running, he's going to be either looking to sort of make an opportunity for one of his other strikers, either through ball or just kind of see what's going around, basically. So I do reckon that's going to be a pretty good way to use Mesut Ozil. And Cazorla is here as well, so he is going to just be attacking. What I like about him, he's going to be helping to create chances for the other players in the team, and also he's going to just be in the box, basically just kind of like milling around. If we do need a little bit of support in the sort of more defensive areas, then what I would do is switch him over to the support function. As it says here, he's going to be more willing to help out with the defense. So I do think that that's going to be a pretty good way to use Cazorla. I would certainly use him in the attacking duty at first, but then maybe switch over to the support function. So I want to just play a real quick game with Arsenal just to see how this tactic works, but I do reckon it should be pretty decent, to be honest. Of course, Arsenal have got a lot of other really good players in their team that I could have picked. I really do like the look of this guy, Lucas. He looks fantastic. El Mohammadi looks pretty good as well. However you pronounce that. Obviously, they've got Oxlade-Chamberlain, Iwobi, Kieran Gibbs, Rob Holding, obviously Giroud as well, who I missed out. But yeah, I just want to have a look and just see how this tactic looks. Okay, so I'm going to call that the end of the episode. I don't particularly care about the result for this particular friendly match. I just wanted to take a look at the movement of the players and how they passed and linked up with each other. If you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to drop a like on the video. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back very soon for some more Football Manager content. Thanks for watching.